It's November 1941, Poltava, Soviet Union. War prisoners, Jewish women and children are boarding a van. They're told to leave their belongings outside before entering. Doors are shut and the engine starts running, but for 10 minutes they stay still. Suddenly, at the 8th minute, screaming and banging on the walls could be heard, followed by dead silence. This was not a normal transport vehicle. This was Hitler's evil death van. In the Soviet Union it was called Dushegubka, which translates to soul killer. In other parts of the world it had different names, but this van would prove to be one of Hitler's most evil designs ever built. Before World War II, Hitler and the Nazi regime invented the Aktion T4 program, which involved the involuntary euthanasia of children who were deemed incurably sick after most critical medical examination. At the beginning of this program, children with physical and mental disabilities from various mental asylums were chosen to be murdered on this program using lethal injections. But using lethal injections posed many problems. One of them was that doctors who were ordered to inject them were directly responsible for taking the lives of so many children. This caused a lot of stress to them, so Philip Böhler, the head of the Aktion T4 program, decided to introduce a new method of killing. Inside the transport buses, they would create holes through which the gas would get in. Children would be told that they're just being transported to another building, but in reality, they would never get out alive. From the outside, the bus windows were tinted, so nobody could see what was happening inside. But even though this program only involved children in the beginning, as World War II began, Aktion T4 would be expanded, now involving adults and all those whom Hitler decided to be unworthy of life. During the first phases of World War II, a high-ranking SS officer, Heinrich Himmler, stumbled upon a problem. His troops, as part of Einsatzgruppen, were under immense pressure from the constant killing of children and women by shooting them. He wanted to find other ways of killing that don't involve direct contact with his troops, or as he would say, a less stressful method. That's when he ordered the redesign of gas buses that were previously produced as part of the Aktion T4. These vans had to be much more secret, hold many more people, and be more effective when it came to killing victims. Parts for these vans would be produced in various factories, and only assembled in the main factory, in which the Nazi regime had the most trust. The majority of the workers in the factory didn't ask questions. More curious workers who did ask were told that these vans would be used to transport corpses related to an epidemic. Because of the secrecy of this project, very little visible evidence is available today. But creating a picture of how these vans looked was possible based on 3 eyewitnesses. This is Saurer bus, used to transport people, and this is a modified version with a sealed cargo section. By the witness statements, this was the usual model used for gas vans. Some witnesses say that Opel Blitz or Diamond 38 Reo were also used as gas vans. To make them more discreet, the Nazi camouflaged these vans as Kaiser coffee shop or as camper vans with painted windows. The main killing method inside these vans was by filling the cargo space with carbon monoxide. This was done by connecting the exhaust pipe with another tube that would transfer gases inside a sealed compartment. This method was explained by the witness named Józef Piaskowski, who at that time was employed as a repairman in the Ossetkovsky factory. Here he said, "The exhaust pipe was divided into 3 sections. The first and the last section was made from a normal steel material that had no visible difference. The only visible difference was in the middle section, which was made from elastic hydraulic pipe. This pipe could be connected to the 3rd section of the exhaust and used as a normal exhaust. However, this pipe could also be tilted and screwed to the cargo floor vent. This engine was also a bit odd. It was enormous. I heard the bosses say that it consumed 75 liters per 100 kilometers. This was in no way normal. 2 gas masks in the driver's seat were also present when Józef was repairing the van. Another witness, Bronislaw Mankowski, also said the same about the design of the pipe. Additionally, in the cargo compartment, he saw a perforated iron plate that was covering the vent in the wooden floor. To isolate the noise and additionally reinforce the walls, the chamber was made from 4 mm thick iron plates. All these statements were also confirmed by the third witness, Bronislaw Falborski, who at that time worked in Kola factory. His task was to make sure that the seal between the elastic pipe and vent was tight enough. In 1941, Einsatzgruppen were given gas vans as a new way of killing victims. For Hitler, this was a more effective way of killing victims for multiple reasons. They wouldn't waste time bringing victims to the camps. Instead, they would bring death to them. Additionally, after the victims were put to death, they would be transported to nearby crematoriums, where Jewish prisoners were forced to take care of the victims. The first gas vans were delivered to Poltava in November and Kharkov in December. In the same month, 20 more gas vans would be delivered to Chelemno concentration camp. In the following months, more and more gas vans would be delivered to other parts of the occupied territory of the Nazi regime. Some vans would be delivered to Yugoslavian concentration camps, and some to Lublin. As months passed by, more and more gas vans started breaking down, causing a lot of problem for the operation. The roads on which the vans were driven were not intended for such heavy and large vehicles. Potholes and terrain were causing a lot of wear and tear to these vans. So just a couple of months into operation, Hitler and SS officers ordered the removal of gas vans from Einsatzgruppe. The fuel consumption for these vans was also excessive, which made this operation a lot less productive. In later months, the gas vans would be replaced by gas chambers located in concentration camps, in which the same method of carbon monoxide poisoning was used. My name is Matthew, and I hope that this part of history will never happen again. Rest in peace to all the victims of the Holocaust.